Hello everyone, welcome to All Things Chadwick. Salutations, welcome. I am going to do chicken and dumplings. I have not had good chicken and dumplings since my grandmother, Virginia England, died. Long time. It's been way too long. Hey Siri, next. No. Anyway, I'm going to make a quick version of the chicken and dumplings. You know, she always did the flour and the butter and kind of rolled out, kind of like you do biscuits. But I don't have enough time to do that and get piano lessons done and all that. So I'm gonna boil a chicken and I'm gonna get some dumplings that I'm actually using crescent dough, and I'll show you that in just a little bit. And we're gonna have chicken and dumplings tonight. And I also have to throw together some lunch. So anyway, welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy. To get started, folks, I have taken 2 tablespoons of Better Than bouillon, or you can use like Knorr chicken broth, or you know, the cubes, whatever you want to do, the bouillon. But I use this stuff, and I use 2 tablespoons in about 1.5 quarts or 2 quarts of water, and I'm going ahead and bringing that to a boil. And I'm also going to take half of a small red onion, and it doesn't really have to be diced up tiny. I'm just going to dice it, flip it, and kind of, and toss that in that water too. Boom, boom, boom. And hang on, let me run outside and grab some bay leaves. Okay, I ran outside and just remembered that the bay leaf bush has been put in the basement for the winter. And I will be double dog dipped if I'm gonna fight with that basement door. So I do have dried bay leaves, so I'm gonna put 2.5, whatever I grabbed out of the fridge, in there. So just the bouillon, which has, you know, lots of your regular broth seasonings, but I do like to put a couple extra bay leaves and a little onion in there. And now I'm going to grab old Miss Hen. Now folks, the broth is, well, I gave it a swirl, so it will be boiling soon. I wanted to at least get that bouillon dissolved. Here's her neck going in. Now I would chop these up if I were going to make gravy or something and use them like in a giblet gravy, but I'm not making gravy. So there's the gizzard. Here is her heart, and her liver is here somewhere. Oh, here's her liver over here. Her liver. We're putting all that in, and we're putting her in. Now I usually use this big acrylic chopping block instead of the wood when I'm gonna do poultry. So now she's also going in. I rinsed her really well, and I may put another cup or 2. Actually, I'm gonna put her breast down. I'm gonna flip her over, sorry. I may put another cup or 2 of water because I do want her covered. And I'm gonna throw the lid on her and I'll be right back. Okay, now I'm gonna bring this to a boil. I am going to put probably a good teaspoon of black pepper in this also. And just for flavor, not for heat, a few dashes of cayenne. 1, 2, 3. And I did taste the broth before I put the chicken in there. And since I know we can use a little more seasoning, I'm gonna put just a little bit of Tony's in there on top of the broth, the Creole seasoning. And that won't, as little as I put in there, it won't really give it a Creole flavor, but it just adds a little more sodium at least to the concoction. Poultry seasoning, very important. I'm going to put quite a bit. Probably 1, 2 teaspoons of poultry seasoning, give or take. It depends on what you love about it, and there's plenty of sage in that too. So let me grab my spoon. Give that a little stir. As she cooks and kind of succumbs to the heat, she will break down and go down in that water a little more. Right now she's still sitting on top of those onions and her heart and liver and gizzard and neck. Should have moved those to the side as a matter of fact, but it'll be good. It's fine. While that's coming up to a boil, I'll let you in on a little secret. Over here, since I'm doing this for dinner and it's lunchtime, I am doing me a couple of slices of turkey bacon, which will also have spinach, a little, provolone cheese, and mustard and mayo. So I'm doing lunch on that side while I'm doing dinner on this side. And this nice old hen is coming up to a boil. This is an organic hen from the market, by the way. This isn't something we harvested here. And when we get a full boil, I'm going to bring her down from a 9 to about a 3 and cover her. So see you in a little bit. Okay, the lid is going on her. The temp is down to 2, so that boil will back off in a minute. If she starts screaming, I'll set her off for kind of offset just for a minute to let some of that steam get out of there. And the bacon is coming up to a nice crispy finish. I'm gonna flip this spread and go ahead and stick my provolone there. And let's go. So I have a nice hefty tablespoon of mayo, and I'm gonna put a nice hefty tablespoon of Plotchman's mustard. Hey, it's our favorite. It's the only thing we buy in this house for years. Take a fork and kind of mix that up nice. Grab some fresh baby spinach leaves. Gabriel's starting his dance, which means he wants to go potty, but I have bacon in the skillet, so he's gonna have to wait a minute. I can hear my provolone cheese. So here we go with the provolone, and I have sliced this bacon in half. So there's 1, 2. I also have the tea on, so I just turned that off. With these old cast iron teapots from Japan, you can put them right on the burner, right on the fire. You can put them out there on the piece of wood, in the embers if you wanted to. And I am just gonna put all those leaves on there. Stems and all are the best. Come on, get on there. Boom, boom, boom. And a little bit of mayo on this top one. And you know me, I'm gonna dip it in there anyway, so it really doesn't matter. There's lunch with a few multi-grain chips. Look at there. Provolone, bacon, baby spinach, and the heat will kind of start wilting that spinach just a little bit. And there's lunch. And I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that the top is all the way on her now, and I'm gonna let her simmer for at least an hour. Now you may look online and it says, oh, a whole chicken from the market, 45 minutes or 35 minutes or 90 minutes. I'm gonna go for an hour, and then I'm just gonna test her tenderness, and we may go longer than that. Be back. Before I eat, put things away. So the cheese, the bread, the sauces, the mayonnaise, the bouillon, the poultry seasoning, salt, pepper, put all that away so it don't all pile up. And even wash the cutting board and put a few things in the trash. Then I can eat lunch without thinking it's all there staring at me. So even with the kids and my bedroom, my husband's, it's like, if you'll just put that pair of pants in the dirty clothes, or if you'll just hang that coat up, then at the end of the week, you don't have an hour's worth of work taking things to the hamper or hanging things in the closet. And then who's the worst? Me, because I got a chair in there that's full of stuff. Clean stuff that just needs to be hung back up. Okay, lunch. And lunch is served. I have my bacon spinach provolone. I have my sauce, my multi-grain chips, and we're going to pour some hot tea. And we are all set to go. Well, besides turkey, spinach, and provolone, which is, I'm going in for my first bite, all I can think about today and last night, not all I can think about, but what's on my mind a lot is Leslie Jordan. Oh my gosh. It's in the news and social media, of course. And I posted something on Facebook this morning where he was in a little movie some time ago, Del Shore's movie called Southern Baptist Sissies. And those kind of things hit home with a lot of us, especially people from the Midwest and the South. Go to my Facebook if you know me personally and look at the little video excerpt, clip from that movie where he's talking to Andrew. Anyway, it's very touching. He is such a beautiful person, and what a shame that things turn out like they do, but they do. So there's Gabrielle. I love you, baby. Hi, sweetie. What are you doing? Anyway, I didn't want to finish out the video later without remembering Leslie Jordan and blowing a kiss to him and his loved ones and his family. I know he has one sister still alive. He recently lost his mother and another one of the twin sisters about a year ago. Anyway, so I'm going to do lunch. Lunch is over and it is time for some chicken checking. So even though this is on 3, you can see, let me set this over here. You can see that she is looking divine. So let me stir this up and flip her. I'm trying to incorporate where the water has reduced some, getting those ingredients back down in there. So I'm gonna take her by up in the cavity, the bootang, and I'm going to attempt to just roll her over. Roll on over, darling. Just like that, yeah. Just like that. Boom. And let's see. She is cooking very well. You can see where those, if I had a fork, I would show you better, but you can see that she's getting tender already. So I am going to, it's been about 45 minutes. Sorry, I'm moving the camera around. Don't get dizzy. Sit down, relax, breathe. I'm going to put the top back on her and let her continue to cook for probably another 30 minutes or so. Well, folks, it's been about an hour, hour and a half. It's not like you can really overcook it as far as I'm concerned. But we are going to take her out of here. Put her in the biscuit bowl. She's going to fall apart anyway. And that's all right. Let me get something to help me because I don't want to burn myself. I'm going to go all the way under her maybe. I'm just taking you along on the ride, folks. She's falling apart. See if I can get her over there without her coming completely apart. There's good. Isn't it fun to watch it happening? I don't want to burn myself. And then we have all of her other little parts down in there. I have another gadget that's going to help me. Put that over there, and we'll grab this and get their little pieces of meat. Some of those onions. All that's going to go back in there after I take it off the bone. Martha Stewart, eat your heart out, darling. I don't think I have anything else in there. Let's give it the once around and find out. Okay. Now, to this broth, by the way, it's not finished as is. I am going to add, and I haven't even pulled it out of the cabinet yet, but I'm going to pull it now, if I can find it. I am going to add 1 can of cream of celery to this broth. So, oh my gosh, I didn't know it was going to splash up and almost hit me in the forehead. So 1 can cream of chicken. And stir that up, incorporate that nicely. That will dissolve pretty quick. I'm gonna pull some of this pepper down off the side of my Dutch oven too. Nothing sticks, of course. Now, I only want my dumplings to cook for about 15 or 20 minutes. Now, after that, they can sit in the, you know, certainly let them sit, have leftovers, stick them in the fridge. But since I want them to be fresh for dinner, I'm not going to put them in just yet. I'm just going to cover this so that it stays hot. But in the meantime, I'm going to let chicken over here cool off because it will burn my fingertips off if I try to debone it right now. So we'll see in a little bit. Yum. Okay, folks, I have washed my hands really well, and I am going to start deboning this chicken. Now, you know that the end of a drumstick has those weird little cartilagey things. So, and I've got me another pan for the bones. And you also know that a drumstick has that huge needle in it. Don't leave that in there. For goodness sakes, don't leave that in there. So, you know, I like to get all the cartilage, every bone, of course. And I'm not going to have you watch all of this because as I get some of these meatier pieces down in here that are really hot, I may say potty words that some of you don't appreciate. So I'll be back in a moment. Okay, folks, I have the chicken deboned. Here are the bones and the bay leaves. And I've been through this again, washed my hands again, so I'm gonna set this to the side. And these will be discarded, composted, if you will. Okay, I'm going to turn the stove back on to boil. I'm going to bring this broth back up to a boil. If you want to put celery and, you know, dice some celery and dice a few carrots at this point, some people do that in their dumplings. I don't. I just like the broth, you know, with the few things that I added earlier and that cream of mushroom or can of cream of chicken, whichever you prefer. So I'm going to bring that back up to a boil. And in the meantime, I have this. Crescent rolls. Now we use, you know, Pillsbury. So, and I have already opened one. You know, I did the peeling, banging thing just a moment ago. So, these are my dumplings. So I'm gonna tear that in half for now. Put that to the side. I'm not gonna, since these are already thin, you know, they're like probably a third of an inch thick, not quite half an inch thick. I'm not gonna roll these out more. If you like yours ultra thin, put a little flour on your work surface and roll them out a little bit, but I want them about like that. So let me grab the knife I'm gonna use for this. So you can take a pizza cutter if you wish. You can also dot this with a little oil if you feel like your knife is sticking. I'm just gonna do strips like this. And then I'm gonna do the same thing this way. I like my dumplings just to be in bite-sized pieces, you know, little squares. How's that? And I'll go up through here too where but I'm not gonna put them in there until this water is up to temperature, so I'll be back. Okay, folks, we are boiling. So, I tested this for flavor. It does not need salt, it doesn't need pepper, it doesn't need a thing. It's absolutely perfect. So I'm gonna turn this down to simmer, take it from a 9 or 10 down to about a 3. Nice full boil. And I'm gonna start tossing in these dumplings. You don't necessarily have to do them one at a time. And you'll notice that they start floating and getting puffy and lovely and fabulous. I just would rather them hit that water individually so they won't, you know, be too stuck together. I counted, this is 40 dumplings, And then the other half of the same can will be 80 dumplings. So that will be plenty for us to eat off of a couple of times. And they're already looking so delish. Let me finish this up and roll out the other half. There you are. And I'll be back. You need to be careful to stir these very gingerly. You don't want to break these up yet because they're not cooked. So you don't want to have like biscuit soup. You want to actually let these cook and get fluffy. So actually I put these back up on about a 5 or 6 on the oven. And I'm going to kind of push them down into that broth without disturbing them too much. And I'm going to cover that and let it cook for about 15 minutes. And I'll be back and we'll add that chicken. Chicken coming right up. Okay, folks, we are at a rolling boil. Let me see if I can grab a dumpling here. Look at there. Again, you want to be careful at this point. You don't want to break them apart. But they are looking delish. Come on up here, honey. Oh, they're heavy and light and fluffy. So just let them keep cooking, 20 minutes or so. And we'll be back and add that chicken. Okay, folks, it is time for the chicken to go back in here. So I'm just gonna grab this dumpling spoon and kind of lay that chicken back down in there with those dumplings. I'm just gonna go real easy now and just give it all back. Of course, you can count on the fact that some of your dumplings are gonna get a little bit broken up or mushed up, but there we are, folks. Chicken and dumplings a la my house. I'm gonna turn that off, put the lid on, and later we will have some nice fluffy chicken and dumplings. And there's not much more to it than that unless you want to throw a little more pepper on the top. I turned it off, I'm putting the lid on, and I have one more thing to show you, and I'll be right back. I thought I would show you a little something in the bathroom. This old print that I've had since we've lived here, nearly 20 years, and I had a matching print over here, wow, way up there. But I replaced it. I love you, Leslie Jordan. Rest in peace, darling.